Hey everybody, welcome to On the Fringe. This is Dave. I'm here with Gavin.
Hey, hey, hey.
We're going to be starting this off with an event that happened last year in December. So the UN adopted a resolution on December 1st trying to limit autonomous weapons used in war, primarily because these could be very detrimental to the future of human society if they're rolled out across the world. What are autonomous
I.e.,
weapons, Gavin?
we could be dead. Autonomous weapon systems are essentially killer robots. They are weapon systems that can make decisions on their own and can identify, select, and apply force to targets with no human intervention. They are robots that are allowed to select and use lethal force to humans without humans doing anything. You just get them started and point them in the right direction. Um, and
Only
they could
fifth
go
graders or
ahead.
sixth graders or seventh graders would be like that.
Unfortunately, it's not just sixth, seventh, and eighth graders. It's major countries involved in major conflicts. An increasing number of countries are looking at autonomous weapon systems, are looking at the idea of the kill chain or the decision loop, and they are deciding that human beings no longer need to be part of that process. So, for those of you who may not be in the know, an autonomous weapon system is a robot. Um, or a semi-aware computer program in a drone or a loitering munition. But basically, what it means is it's a robot with some kind of weapon capacity. That's what an autonomous weapon system is. Yeah, why would they be against that? Well, they're running out of people. Russia has been involved in a war, a special military operation. They've been involved in a war since 2022. It's now 2026, May 31st, as of the time we're recording this. And even when this resolution was brought forward, this is in December 25, and yeah, they were already at a point again, as is Ukraine, where they are heavily using autonomous weapon systems in pretty much every capacity you can, from large, complicated drones to motorized pallet carriers to just every conceivable thing. Robot medics in the case of Ukraine, autonomous gun turrets on both sides. Every conceivable thing that you would need to use in a war has been automated in some way, shape, or form. Increasingly, these weapon systems have autonomy, which means humans aren't in the loop. What does that mean, Dave?
Well, it means that the human is not going to be making the decision on whether the weapon should attack. It's going to be
Yep.
relying on its internal systems and algorithms and programming to make that decision. And Russia and Ukraine are two of the countries that are using these, but also you have the UK that's increasingly looking at these as well, right?
And they're not the only country. I think the difference with the UK is that they've been more public about it than a lot of countries have been. But yeah, there's an ongoing discussion in the United Kingdom at the moment about removing humans from the process of determining who to kill. This is so current UK military policy is that context appropriate human involvement, what a phrase, needs to be involved in the selection and engagement of targets. Currently, they're talking about there may be some contexts where you don't need that. There has been conversations about with the US in terms of target selection. There may already be limited human involvement. Some of the controversy about Tomahawk missile strikes in Iran. There was conversation about how those targets had been selected and what kind of human oversight there was. This is another one of those things where I feel like we kind of stumbled across this, Dave. And now that we have, I'm like, we're not going to be talking about anything else for the next couple of years.
No,
Um,
this is going to be huge because if
this is
you have
Terminator.
it
This is
is.
like Terminator level shit.
It is. And if you have everything automated, just to give you guys a historical context. So let's take this to a worst case scenario where you've got a nuclear war between two countries.
Mm.
And you go back to 1983, and the Soviet ICBM radar warning system detected four missiles from the United States. And the controller did not act and go, well, yeah, the US is attacking us, so we need to either attack or I need to send this up my chain of command. He sat there and said, well, this is probably a false alarm because they're only sending four missiles. And if you have an autonomous system that detects something like this, is the autonomous system going to be able to have that same decision-making capacity? That, well, the US is only going to send four. Why wouldn't the US send, 100? Are they going to put that into an algorithm where it goes, okay, you've got four missiles coming in or five missiles coming in at this speed or at this time, and I know whether we should strike back or I know whether we should sit on this. And if you automate something like this, if this would have been completely automated, you do take the future of humanity outside of human hands. And that to me is very, very scary.
And this is not an exaggeration, folks. This is happening in real time. And people are making the decision to hand autonomy over to robots and to algorithms and to autonomous weapon systems. This is already happening, particularly in the Russo-Ukrainian war, but again, in real time elsewhere. We have another pod lined up in which we'll talk about this further, but this is starting to become a feature of modern warfare. Autonomous weapons making decisions to kill human beings.
Fun stuff and fun times lie ahead, right?
And we will be talking all about that fun stuff here on the Fringe until we get killed and replaced by robots. Um,
I'm still human. I've got three fingers in front of my face right here. I'm not an algorithm, I promise you.
well, now you have six. Um,
And there's a space between two of these fingers.
But seriously, we will be following up on this. This is going to be an ongoing major concern for a lot of very good reasons, and we will be covering it here on the Fringe. Please like, comment, subscribe. And if you are listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcasts, we'd really appreciate it if you went in, gave us a comment, gave us a rating. All feedback is appreciated. We know our community has been so supportive and has done such a great job of sharing out the message. But if you could just leave us some kind of feedback or a rating on those platforms, that would be just so appreciated.
It would make a huge difference. It really would.
You know what else would make a difference?
Uh, I can think of a million things, but I've got one in mind.
Well, hit the button.